My adopted son called me mom for the first time, and I'm laying in bed at 2 a.m. unable to sleep because of it. 3 years. It took 3 years for this moment to happen, and now that it has, I can't stop replaying it in my head. I adopted him when he was 9. His parents died in a car crash on a Tuesday afternoon. They were picking him up from soccer practice. A drunk driver ran a red light, and that was it. He was in the back seat, survived with just a broken arm. His extended family couldn't take him. His grandparents were too old. His aunt had 4 kids of her own and barely made rent. That's how he ended up in the system. I'd been looking to adopt for 2 years at that point. I'm 35, never been married, never wanted kids the traditional way. I just always knew I wanted to be a mom. When I saw his file, something just clicked. Maybe it was his age. Most people want babies or toddlers. Maybe it was the look in his eyes in the photo. This mix of sadness and trying to be brave. I don't know, but I knew he was supposed to be mine. The first year was rough. He was polite but distant, called me by my first name. We'd eat dinner together and he'd answer my questions with one-word responses. How was school? Fine. Did you make any friends? No. His therapist said it was normal, that he was grieving, that trust takes time. I never pushed. I figured if he wanted to call me by my first name forever, that was his choice. Year 2 got better. He started opening up more, told me about his day without me asking, laughed at my terrible jokes. One night, I found him crying in his room looking at old photos of his parents. I sat with him and he actually let me hold him while he sobbed. That felt like progress. But he still called me by my first name. By year 3, we'd settled into this comfortable rhythm. He's 12 now, mature for his age, helps with dishes without being asked, does his homework at the kitchen table while I cook. We have movie nights every Friday. He picks the movie, I make popcorn with too much butter the way he likes it. I love him. I've loved him since day 1, but I'd accepted that he'd always call me by my first name, his guardian, the woman who took him in, not his mom. Then tonight happened. It was around 6 p.m. I was making stir fry, chopping vegetables at the counter. He was sitting at the kitchen table working on math homework for the upcoming school year. The kitchen smelled like garlic and ginger. Everything felt normal, routine. Then I heard it. Mom, can you help me with this? The knife in my hand stopped midair. I actually thought I'd imagined it. My brain was trying to process what I just heard. I turned around slowly, and there he was, pencil in hand, looking at me with this nervous expression, like he'd just said something wrong and was waiting to see my reaction. I wanted to cry. I wanted to run over and hug him. I wanted to ask him to say it again just to make sure it was real. Instead, I just smiled and said, of course, as casually as I could manage. I washed my hands, walked over to the table, and looked at his homework. My heart was slamming against my chest, but I kept my face neutral. We went through the problem together, me explaining the steps while internally screaming with joy. When we finished, he went back to his work like nothing happened, like he hadn't just changed everything with one word. I went back to cooking, but I couldn't focus. I kept messing up the recipe, adding too much soy sauce, forgetting to stir. My hands were actually shaking. My mind was racing. Did he mean it? Was it a slip? Would he take it back? We ate dinner, watched TV, everything normal. Then at bedtime, I couldn't help myself. I hugged him before he went to his room, just wrapped my arms around him and held on a little too long. That's when he said it again. Mom, what is it? I pulled back and looked at him, completely caught off guard. He called me mom again, twice in one night. Yes? I said without thinking. He gave me this funny look, eyebrows raised. What? He said. Then his confused expression turned into a smile, and he started laughing. Just this pure, happy laugh. He knew exactly what he'd done. He knew what it meant to me. That was 4 hours ago. He's asleep now in the room down the hall. I'm in my room staring at the ceiling, typing this out on my phone because I have to tell someone. 3 years of being his parent, and tonight he finally called me mom. Not by my first name, mom. He sees me as his mother now. He's chosen me, and I cannot stop smiling.